How's it going, everybody? Welcome to this week's video. So in this video, we are going to be assessing the damage on all the remote control cars. So we have, at the bottom is the Tamia Cloudbuster, which there's quite a few things wrong with that. My daughter's Hellion Animus, nothing really wrong with that one. We have the Tamia Midnight Pumpkin, the Hellion Impact. I can't remember the brand of it is off the top of my head, but my Rock Crawler, HPI Blitz, and then my Tamia Stadium Blitzer, and my TCI, was it the TCI 4? Yeah, streetcar. These ones over here are actually going to be getting sold here shortly, and might be getting something new. Not 100% sure yet. All right, let's go ahead, get the first one down, and start showing you what's wrong with them all. Okay, the Tamia Cloudbuster, which is like, I've always loved this truck. I've had it forever and ever and ever. I love it. It's four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering. It's a monster. It's almost indestructible. And I say almost because there are parts on here that do break and go bad and all that kind of stuff. But that's okay, because I am going to replace the parts that go bad on this with some better quality. Because they just started coming out with aluminum parts for this, or at least for the parts that I need. They've always made aluminum parts, but there's certain things that are broke on this. There might be more because I haven't gone over this thing in a long time. So the first thing is the body. It's stuck. It's falling apart, it's beat, so we're gonna get a new body. That's the first thing on this. Now, this thing is really good. It's got a Traxxas controller and a receiver in this thing with a, what the heck is this thing got in it? I don't even know. It's got an electronic speed controller, and this actually works really well with this. It's got this thing has a dual motor in it, so having a electronic speed controller that can handle dual motors is wonderful, and this thing handles it well. Now here is where one of the issues is right here, is it has a zip tie on it. It is on these, and it is hard to see, but like right in here, there's a bracket that goes from the differential to the body that keeps the whole differential from rocking. Well, they're real common for breaking on these things. Well, they just started selling them, and of course I buy off of eBay. And they just started selling them, or at least I noticed them recently. And they're only, if I'm correct, 20 bucks. Let's find it here real quick. Yeah, I don't know if it'll focus, but these are the brackets right here, and they're only $20. So I'm going to order those for this. And then I also, it's still running the stock style motors, which are right there. I used to run the Trinity monster motors in this thing, and they worked really well, but I burned them up because I wanted to see how much fun it would be with a 3-cell LiPo. Yeah, those motors didn't handle it. So let's go over this thing real quick. I think that is all I need on these. The shocks look good, that looks good. The wheels still look good. Steering, And I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it's like, when you rock it, the whole rear end shifts. And that's because that piece is broken. And it's broken on both of them. This one's broken, and this one is like glued together. So, I think that, oh yeah, bumpers. The bumpers that used to be on it are gone. Don't know what the heck happened to them. So I need to order a new body, new motors, and I'm gonna order, let's see. I also got the motors that I want to order on here. Right here, I am going to run the axle motors. It's a 27 turn, and 27 turn motors are really good for this. It is plenty of power, as long as I don't put a 3-cell lipo in it. So we're going to order basically everything for this at one time, which will be a new body, differential mounts, new motors, and new bumper. Roughly will cost about $100 to get this thing back up and running. So that's all that's wrong with this. Let's put it back together and get to the next one. All right. Real quick overview of the Hellion Animus that my daughter has. The only thing that is, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you ever buy this, get a heat sink for the motor, because this thing gets really hot, and I mean like smoking hot. This is the second motor that's in this thing. She burned the first motor up, which there's a video on that, because that little motor running this truck full-wheel drive, motor gets hot. So we went ahead and got another stock motor and put a heat sink on it to help cool it down some. She hasn't blown this motor up, but at the same time, it still gets smoking hot, but I think the heat sink works. But that's the only issue with this thing, is it gets hot. All right, on to the next one. My Hellion Impact. Wonderful, love this thing. It has, you know, it did blow a motor up. I think that's one of the issues with the Hellion things, is their motors are really poor quality. Because same thing with this is, I blew a motor up in it a while ago, and I put a new motor in it, but it is still a stock motor, but it's a stock from a different company. Cannot remember like what company it is, but same thing. Blew the motor up, put a new motor in it, it's ran 500%. Till day before yesterday when I went to get it out. Battery, which is a 2-cell lipo, dead. And I mean, it won't take a charge, nothing. So, needless to say, the only thing wrong with this is it needs a new battery. That's a good thing. Bad thing is, you know, just gotta go buy it. And batteries for this run $20-ish or so from my local hobby town. Not a bad deal. I'll probably be going up there this weekend, picking up some more batteries for this and a couple other things. All right, now on to the next one. So here we have my Tamia Midnight Pumpkin. I love this truck. I've had it forever, just like the Cloudbuster. Only issue with these is the body mounts on them break all the time. And as they are, and they're currently broken right now. Get this one out. There. So out of, I mean, this one's broken. It's supposed to be 2 pieces. Well, it's down to 1. And the rest of them are there, but well, that one's almost broken. Now, one of the issues is, well, basically the only issue I've ever had with this is the body mounts. I go through body mounts like crazy, and I'm not joking. I have probably been searching for metal body mounts for probably 10 years for this truck. Well, Hot Racing, again off of eBay, there you go, just started selling them. Well, that's wonderful, because now I can put you know, metal body mounts on this thing, and it is going to be a lot better, especially, you know, when my daughter runs it into a fence and breaks the body off of it. The body is still in excellent condition, so basically for this, all I need is new body mounts. I mean, the truck runs wonderful. It's got a modified method motor in it, and this thing will do wheelies for days. It's got oil shocks on it, you know, aftermarket oil shocks on it. Runs perfect, just needs new body mounts. So we'll get those ordered and get this fixed. All right, again, put it together. Let's get on with the next one. All right, so this is my rock crawler. I've always had issues with this thing, and I mean, there's multiple issues with this. It has locking front and rear diffs, and they tend to open. So it's really hard to see, but down inside, right in here, is a slider, and it'll slide back and forth. Like this one is locked, so no issue. The front, it's open, because the sliders on these, even if I sit and lock it here, let's see if I can get it to lock. Probably not. Yeah, even after I lock it, it will come unlocked after playing with it for a little bit. Then you got drive shaft issue. These drive shafts tend to come undone constantly. So that's something I'm gonna have to address, is figure out how to get the drive shafts on this to stop coming undone. I'm probably just going to wind up gluing once I get it locked, is glue it shut. So that way it always is locked. The shocks on this are basically plastic oil shocks, and they always leaked. So yes, this thing has like extreme amount of articulation, but when you give it gas, it just does body roll like crazy, because the shocks are bad and it doesn't keep its position. It doesn't do what the shocks need to do on it. So I'm going to order a set of shocks off of eBay, and that's about all I need to buy for this. It's, you know, it's got a LiPo battery on the front. It's got a, God, how many turns? It's like a 25 turn motor in this thing, so it is super slow. Beadlock wheels on it. I mean, it crawls crazy good. Only thing is drive shaft keeps falling out, and then on the back, and then the locker for the front keeps coming off. But besides that, wonderful. So get some new shocks, and this will be back on the road running again and having fun with it. All right, on to the next one. So this is my HPI Blitz stadium truck. It is super fast, but since it's super fast, it's also a nightmare to control. And there is just so much wrong with this thing. I have beat this thing to the end of its life. Second body, and I mean, the body is, you know, I mean, there's pieces missing, and it's from wheelies and all that kind of stuff. The body is just beyond repair. The front suspension is worn. It isn't bad, I mean, but the thing is it doesn't keep on a track straight all the time. So I think it might be just some bushings and some shocks and a couple things like that are needed on this. But for the most part, it just needs a freshen up and a tune up and a couple little odds and ends. So with this, when I get to this, it is going to be rebuilding the shocks and going over some of the bearings and some of the bushings on this thing. And I think and maybe a new body. I think that's all that this thing needs. It is running true bead locks, aluminum, because The video that I did on the speed of how fast this thing will go was nowhere near what it can usually do. I know this thing will go upwards of 50 miles an hour. But again, I think the battery is an issue. I think all the batteries I have are just an issue. I haven't played with these things like I like to, and we're gonna get back into that. So this is the start of me getting back into the remote control cars. Getting them all fixed and getting the videos going, and batteries, getting them fixed, getting them right, and ripping them again. So, shocks, bearings, I think just a light refresh and a new body. This thing will be back perfect and running at its top speed again. All right, 2 more to go. This is my Tamia Stadium Blitzer. Again, I've had that just like the Cloudbuster, the Midnight Pumpkin, a long time. This body is not the original body that goes with it. It's a piece of crap. It doesn't even fit. This is the original body that came with it. This thing, all it needs is, which I'm not gonna be able to tell, is, let's see how the wheels wobble, is the bearings. Well, I guess these are, and this has got plastic bushings, doesn't have bearings. Ooh, almost dropped it. But that's all that's the matter with this thing, is it needs bearings. I'm probably gonna go ahead and get a modified motor to put in this thing also, just for better quality. These stock motors, they are good, they run fast for certain vehicles, but at the same time, if things go bad, you can't fix them. So it's just basically, if your motor messes up, get rid of it and get a new one. So basically for this, all I need is bearings, and I want to get a new motor. That's it. And this thing, and I've got, these are original front tires. I have another, shoot, let's see. Here's another set of original front tires. Yeah, some back tires. Which I'll show you all the tires in a minute. But basically this is a good car, just needs a few little things. So we'll get that ordered and get this thing squared away. All right, one more. All right, last one. This is my TC4 street car. So, like I said, the other day it fell off. When it fell off, it broke the wing off and it broke a body mount off. So now I only have 3. Well, that tells you right there, need a body mount at least. I want to get a new body because this thing is seen better days. This thing is, again, this is a super fast car. It is ridiculous. These slicks that are on here, the only thing I don't like about running slicks is if I don't put like compound on them to give them a little more sticky, they just don't grip to the ground. So I want to get a better set of tires for this that actually grip. This is running a low seat brushless system, and it actually, like I say, this thing is fast. I think it's faster than my Blitz, which is stupid because that thing's fast. This thing's so fast and it overheats, it has a fan for the speed controller and a fan for the motor to keep it cool, and heat sink for the motor also. So this thing gets really hot because it is so fast. I think that I've raced people before roughly around 70 miles an hour with this, but besides that, I mean, it is 4-wheel drive and everything works on it. This just needs a body mount and a new motor. Okay. A new body, not a new motor. So a body mount and a new body. That's all that's wrong with this. Well, new tires. And this will be back on the road, running good again. All right, let me show you some of the things that I do have. All right, now inside the HPI Blitz is a 3-cell LiPo, which is garbage because it isn't working right. I have a 2-cell LiPo right here, which I'm going to get rid of. I have a good battery charger right here, which is what I use for most of my stuff. I have a little 15-minute dynamite charger right there. That is for my daughter's stuff, because it's real easy for her to just plug it in. 15 minutes, the battery's good to go. Except the timer stopped working on that day before yesterday, so I went ahead and ordered her another one of those. I think I spent like 20 bucks off of eBay. That'll be in a couple days. I have a, here's a low-C electronic speed controller, Titan. I really wish I could put this motor in the Cloudbuster, but see, this is a 550 versus a 540, and a 540 only goes to here, 550 is longer, so this won't fit in the Cloudbuster, but I would love to run 2 of these. And then here is my tire overflow of, big tires, low, all that stuff. So I have plenty of things to keep them going. I just need a few little odds and ends. So basically my plan is, starting this Friday when I get paid, I'm going to order parts for one car. Then we're going to do a video on it, get it up and put together, get it running and all that. Then the next Friday I will buy another set of parts. I don't know which vehicle I'm going to start with, but we're just going to tackle one at a time and hope for the best, I guess you could say. All right, if anybody wants me to get another kind of car, let me know, because I am getting rid of some of these, so I'm open to buy some extras and test and tune and all that kind of stuff. So if anybody watches this, wants a comment, let me know what I should buy next. I don't like nitro though, I only like electric. It's just me. All right, stay tuned for all the videos about all the remote control cars. Until then, like, subscribe, comment, catch you in the next video.